The obvious first question is, what's life like in the bubble? How's it going?
Yeah, it's been good. You know, we have a group that has been together for a while. We've had a lot of different experiences. You know, being away from home in different periods, whether it's long preseasons or Champions League. You know, trips down in Mexico where we weren't really leaving the hotel. So we've been through stuff like this before. Obviously not in this context, but it's it is what it is, and we're doing everything we can to keep ourselves and each other safe, and obviously looking forward to the game on Sunday.
You know, in order to run this tournament, the league, in an ideal scenario, wants you just focused on soccer and not have to worry about the health and safety of yourself and your teammates. Have you found so far in the first few days that your number one priority can be soccer?
Yeah, I mean, look, to a certain extent, for this next period of time, I think everybody in the world, regardless of what you do, we're all trying to learn how to navigate our everyday lives in the midst of a pandemic. And so we're cognizant of that and making sure that we are doing all the little things to minimize the risk of contracting the virus as much as possible. But again, the closer you get to a game, certainly the excitement and the energy comes just in terms of being able to step back on the field again.
Michael, just describe to us what the bubble constitutes for TFC. We've heard so much talk about, hockey's going to be in a bubble, basketball's going to be in a bubble, soccer's going to be in a bubble. So what does the bubble consist of for you? Are you in the same hotel as a couple of other teams? Are you seeing other players wandering around? Your practice, if you got an isolated practice facility, how is the whole thing set up for you?
Yes, I mean, look, I think every league's bubble is going to be a little bit different. Ours, we have, there's two hotels that are on the Disney property that are just across the water from each other. We have MLS has both of them. They've sectioned off a bigger area around both hotels where obviously nobody from the outside can come in. We're in the smaller of the two hotels, which is nice. It means that, obviously, there is absolutely interaction with other teams. You see teams, down in the lobby, in the elevator, walk into their meals, whatever it may be. Obviously, everybody's trying to, everybody's in masks when you're outside of your room. Everybody's still trying to be cognizant of things like, social distancing and not mingling too much with other teams, but there's you definitely see other guys and other teams. And since we've gotten here, we're just trying to settle into a routine of training and finding ways to still enjoy the time with each other off the field, but doing it in a way where we're sticking to ourselves.
Michael Bradley joining us on Overdrive. You we've kind of joked because all eyes are on Orlando and the NBA's down there as well. How close are you to the NBA bubble, and is there any way that you potentially could bump into the Raptors or LeBron James?
Honestly, I couldn't even begin to tell you how close or how far they are.
Probably a good sign.
aside from our team floor and our training field and our meal room, I've not seen anything. And obviously the last part is to the extent that I understand, it's their bubble is different than our bubble, and I don't think there's any overlap between the two. So obviously, yeah, we know that the NBA teams are starting to arrive down here, but again, I don't. More than that, I couldn't tell you.
It's such a unique time to actually play the games, and we know physical talents, but to me, going in an environment like this, I think some of the things that your club has been through, in terms of really tough losses, winning a championship, some of those things, and while players have changed, the core is still there. How important is the mental side right now versus the physical side of what you have to do?
Yeah, we've talked a lot about that over this last stretch. I mean, it's a huge part of it. You know, I mean, obviously everybody's coming off a long layoff to a certain extent. No player or no team is going to be at their best right away. You know, and so at the beginning of this tournament, the ability to draw on the collective mentality of the group to find ways to win and to get results, even when things aren't perfect, even when as you're still kind of playing your way into things, that part is so important. And I think the experiences that we've had as a group over the last 5 or 6 years, I think are gonna help us in a lot of ways.
Now, on the physical standpoint, you've been rehabbing that ankle injury. What is your status for the upcoming games, which kicks off on Sunday against DC United?
I feel good. I feel strong and fit, and I'm ready to go. So on a personal level, I'm really excited.
Now, for Toronto FC, there's a lot of excitement with, the run that you went on last year, the fact that your core is there, but you add a player in Pablo Piatti. What are your first interactions been like with him, and for fans who are eagerly waiting to see what he can do for Toronto FC, what's the scouting report on your new teammate?
Yeah, Pablo has done a great job over the last period of really working hard and getting himself fit. Obviously, he was a little bit unlucky in the beginning. Before the league shut down, he picked up a little injury at the end of preseason, and so he's worked so hard to put that behind him, and obviously as we've all had more time to train and start to get a feel for him and understand his qualities, I think we see more and more every day how good a player he is. He's a dynamic attacking player who can play from the left or the right. He's quick and shifty, can put guys on the wrong foot, and so I think we're all excited to see how he can really add a different piece to our attack.
Michael, you're a senior guy and you've been through so much yourself, and you've played for different coaches, and one of the things that I'm looking at as a former player is, boy, what a temptation it would be for coaches to overcoach at times like this. And so have you had to have any discussions yet and say, hey, what are we thinking here in terms of that? Are you included in those conversations? Because, boy, I've played for some coaches that their temptation to take over at a time like this would be so hard for them not to do it.
No, listen, when we talk about the experiences that we've had as a group, I mean, one of the things that can't go unsaid is the fact that the relationship that we the core group of our team that we have with Greg is incredible, and so the experiences that we've all shared together and the communication that exists, the relationship that exists, it means that we have complete trust and faith in him and his ability to sound us out with certain things. I mean, it's that part is at a high level, and so there's constant discussion, communication. Obviously, he's the coach, and whatever decisions he makes, we're always behind 1,000%. But the relationships and the communication that go into the work that we do every day is at a high level. So we all feel really good about that.
Michael Bradley, Toronto FC captain, joining us on OverDrive. TFC scheduled to play at 9 a.m. on Sunday against DC United. 9 a.m. When was the last time you had a pregame meal at 5:30 a.m.?
Yeah, it was a while ago. Would have been some type of youth tournament, a bunch of years back.
Well, what do you plan on eating that early in the day? I imagine it can't be your same meal that you would have for a typical match.
No, I mean, listen, I think, every guy will handle it differently. I'm going to use the day tomorrow to make sure that I'm getting as much as as much of the good things that I need in terms of, not just eating, but hydration, and then, make sure you get a good night's sleep. And I'll wake up, and, have a little bit of breakfast, and then just, be ready to play. And in some ways treat it like, treat the preparation in the morning like you would for a training session. I personally don't see any other way to look at it all.
It's been so fascinating to watch this tournament get going, and it'll be fascinating to watch you guys play and what level you can play at. But also, the matches so far have been highlighted by, events like Thierry Henry kneeling for 8 minutes and 46 seconds to honor George Floyd. You think of that first game, Inter Miami and Orlando City, with the moment of silence, the raising of the fists. As a leader in this league, how important is it for MLS to get this message out and also get the right message out?
Yeah, it's in a lot of ways, it's the most important thing right now. Regardless of anything else that goes on the field, to have a strong, united message in terms of the events that are playing out in front of our eyes. That part is so important. I know, for me personally, and for us as a club, to see the way all of our black players have handled this period has been incredible. But in particular, Justin Morrow, who serves as the executive director for the Black Players for Change, we're all so proud of him and the work and the effort that he has put into, really galvanizing, the black players in our league, and the display that they put on the other night was strong and powerful. And I think it was an incredible start to the tournament.
Well, I've always admired your leadership as the captain of this team, and for years it was usually just what you were doing on the pitch and in practices, but what you've done now more recently is even more fascinating, and even to tell your teammates to not be afraid to speak out. I know that is so important to you, and it means so much to you, and all the best to you and the team. And first off, stay healthy when you're in Orlando, and then second, win some matches.
I appreciate that, guys. We're looking forward to it. Thanks for the support.